Merry Christmas or Feliz Navidad. Okay, so I cannot not wear my mask on the road, so hopefully you can hear me. This morning was supposed to be our Christmas lights in Panama edition. As you can tell, this is a busy road. However, Panama is going back under COVID strict lockdowns and no one can be out past 7 p.m. and that makes looking at Christmas lights really difficult because it gets dark at 7 p.m. and me taking video of Christmas lights in the daytime just isn't as effective. So I switched it up and we're gonna hike Parque Natural Metropolitano here right in Panama City, which is great. And I've hiked it once before. It's really an amazing place. And so I wanted to bring you to it and show you just how cool it is. That you really can get away from it all right here in this city. So it costs $4 to get in. They give you a handy dandy wristband and then you hike. And there's 4 different trails that we're gonna go on today. You can do them all in one day. And there are some spectacular views. So let's get going. We're gonna start this morning with the easiest of the 3. And that's the Dorothy Wilson Trail. And I learned a new word in Spanish. Sendero, that's trail. Okay, so this one is really cool because one thing you don't find a lot of in Central America is handicapped accessible areas. And this is an entire trail that's paved and flat. So it's a great place if you're in a wheelchair or if you're pushing a stroller or something like that to come and kind of get out into nature a little bit. So let's go through it and see what there is to find on the Dorothy Wilson Trail. So you can see what I'm talking about, how it's paved and has rails. They have some workout equipment over here, which is all cordoned off because of COVID right now. In fact, you're supposed to make reservations to come into the park right now. I didn't have a reservation, but there's nobody here, so they let me in. So that was nice. And then you can see they have like a playground for the kids over here. Again, cordoned off. But here's the grounds. They have a really cool greenhouse back there that I think is kind of like a butterfly area, possibly. There's where you come in at. I mean, once you get off the busy road, you really do get back into nature. I can hear the parrots this morning. And so this is going to take us right into the jungle. The really great thing about this trail is that there's lots of signage around and it's both in Spanish and English. And then they have like, you know, these little things here that are even in Braille. So, I mean, it's just really an inclusive little park. I like it a lot. Educational, tells you about birds. There's another one up here that talks about mammals. I think there's one that talks about trees. And I love that kind of stuff. I'm a sucker for a sign. So we're really close into the road. So seeing a lot of wildlife is probably not in the cards. We'll be seeing that when we get a little deeper in. But as you can see, this is just a lovely little stroll and a nice little warm up for what I'm going to be doing here in a little bit. So this sign is all about the trees. All right, we'll walk all the way around. And just like that, we're back to the beginning. I mean, literally, if you're walking fairly at a good brisky pace, that's not gonna take you more than 3 or 4 minutes to go around. Super flat, good little warm up. But now, we're heading off in this direction, through here, across the grass. And this is going to take us to the second of the 4 trails. So just off from the playground, you just go to the right and you'll see the sign there that says my new word, Sendero. And so this is going to be the start of the next loop. Now this one is not a super easy one. I mean, well, it is super easy really, but there's some hills in it. So just know that going in. And there's signs. And the really cool thing is that the signs along here are comparing like the Panama Canal to these canals that were built in Cleveland, the Erie Canal and the Ohio Canal, and how those canals contributed to the growth of Cleveland, just like the Panama Canal contributed to the growth of Panama City. So it's really worth kind of stopping and reading the signage and knowing what you're getting into, because again, it's both in English and Spanish. So we're going to head up this way, climb a hill, and hopefully see what I'm always here for, wildlife. The signs are a great place to stop and catch your breath, because it's not a steep uphill, but it's steady, that's for sure. So this sign is really interesting. It's talking about how many of the birds actually migrate between Cleveland, the canals up there, and here in Panama City, and how they just kind of go back and forth between the two canals. And this shows you the migratory route, which I thought is pretty fascinating. It's over 3,000 kilometers, and it says that some of the birds that do this are yellow warblers, barn swallows, Blackburnian warblers, and Baltimore orioles. And so they spend their summers up in the States, and then in the fall, when food starts getting more scarce, they fly back to Panama and hang out here so they have something to eat. Okay, I've caught my breath, and more hill ahead. So it's not that long, but it's definitely uphill. It'll get your blood pumping, get your lungs working. But at the top, as you're about to see, it's going to be worth it. Check out that view of Panama City. Beautiful. And Parque Natural Metropolitano is called the Lungs of Panama City. And you can see why. I mean, right there, you don't get much more city than that in Central America. And then right here, all of this beautiful, lush jungle providing oxygen for the humans and the animals, and lots of habitat for the animals that live in here. I haven't seen very many yet, one bird, but hopefully as I go along I'll find some more. So we've almost completed the downhill portion of it. It's a beautiful little walk next to a little stream for a portion, and as you can probably hear, we're a lot closer to the road now. If you see that building right there, the road is right on the other side of it, and it's at this point right up here somewhere. Where is it? Let's see. So I don't know, I guess a rain shelter kind of thing. More signage. And as you walk around, a very sad thing is here because of COVID. There is a trail that connects this loop with the Mirador loop that's a little bit further down that we're going to do here in a little bit. But unfortunately, due to COVID, and I don't understand why, but okay, they have that trail blocked off. So the last time I was here, I had to actually walk about a half a mile along that road because I didn't have my car with me to get to the next trail, which, let's see, which is more dangerous? Walking on this trail, I've encountered one person so far this morning. I encountered none last time I was here, the whole time I was here. Walking this trail and possibly passing by someone and catching COVID, or walking on this crazy busy road where cars are whizzing by and there's nowhere to walk. Okay, everything doesn't have to make logical sense to Mary, I guess. But anyway, so this is like a little greenhouse nursery kind of area here, which is really nice. I'm super into plants. And you just walk along this for a little way, and then you'll see that it's going to pop us back out to the visitor center. So we'll continue down here. It's nice and flat, which is lovely. Once you get past the little creek and go downhill, I mean, literally you go uphill to get to that viewpoint, and then it's downhill, and then you get to this and it's flat the rest of the way. So it really is an easy trail. So once you get past the nursery, then you're going to come to a little area where there's little turtle pond. When I was here the other day, there were quite a few turtles. Let's see. I see a couple. I'll try to zoom in on them. Maybe you can see them down there in the water. But so some little turtles, probably some little fish and things in here. Now, the great thing though is that you would think that with this being like stagnant-ish water that there'd be a lot of mosquitoes right here, but there aren't. I didn't encounter any mosquitoes on my last hike all through the entire park or on this one so far. So the great thing is about this hike is that you don't have to wear bug spray, and you don't even need sunscreen because the canopy is really enough to keep the sun off of you. So no chemicals required for this hike except for dihydrogen monoxide, which is an extremely deadly chemical that you should have in a bottle by your side at all times when hiking through the jungle. And that's it. It's a pretty short trail, and the highlight obviously is to get up to that viewpoint, but it's also a nice little trek back in the jungle if you want a view without the massive hill, which will be the last trail that we do. So as you come out of the forest, there's this massive, like, screened in kind of area, and I'm pretty sure it's where they breed butterflies. Of course it's all closed because of COVID, but there's like a little walkway in there, a little ramp. There's these little butterfly signs you can stick your face in, and this is something I really want to do on our property. That would be amazing. Okay, so let's walk around so you can see where we're at, and then we're gonna head to the next one. My new word, sendero. It's my favorite word. All right, so we're back at the visitor center, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna head back to the parking lot and walk across the street to the third of our trails this morning. For our next trail, we're gonna play a game of Frogger. We're just right here in the parking lot of the visitor center. So we're gonna play a little game of Frogger, get across this busy road, and that's where the third loop is. Los Monotides. Whew, all right, made it across. So with all of that traffic, you can see why I was saying it's super dangerous to walk along that road. More dangerous than catching COVID on a hiking trail. All right, so you see we get here and we've got like a fork to the right, to the left. It's a loop that goes around. And you can go either way, except I'm OCD and I always go to the right. So we're gonna go this direction. And here we are at the end. Another nice little short trail. Barely any hills. So like if you were looking just to do something really quick, just to get out in nature for a moment and take a walk, and you didn't want to climb any steep hills and get super sweaty, then this is the trail that I would recommend of all of them. Of course, and then do the little Dorothy Wilson trail too, because that's nice and flat. But the one that we just did, that one has a good sized hill, and the one we're going to, I'm dreading, is a lot of uphill. But the view at the top is worth it. So we're gonna head across the parking lot, jump in the car, drive down the road this time instead of play Frogger the whole way down, and hit the Migratory Route. All right, so just up the road from the visitor center is where the other trail starts when that one trail is closed off for COVID. Otherwise, you could come and hike this trail without having to get in your car and drive to another parking lot. But for now, this is what we're stuck with, so this is what we're doing. All right, so you can see that there's, you have to pay, you can't come straight to this one. You have to pay at the visitor center and get your little wristband there. You can't pay here because I tried to come in this morning, but you couldn't do it. So As you can see, there's a little bit of information here. No pets, no smoking, and it gives you a little map. So we're gonna go through this trail. This is the one where there's a serious climb, but we're gonna get through it together. Now, the last time I was here, I came across this really cool old abandoned building, and there was no signage or anything indicating what it might be. I went online and did a little bit of research, and apparently this was a building that was a United States government building back before the canal was turned back over to Panama. And from what I could gather, there wasn't a lot of information, but it was something to do here with like making airplane parts or repairing airplane parts or something to do with airplanes, which I found rather interesting. But as we get up here, you'll see it's a massive building, and it seems like with a little bit of money and hard work, something amazing could be done with it to make it like a massive visitor center or something like that to really attract people over here to the park, because the main infrastructure is here in place, the main buildings. So let's look and kind of peek around. Oh, that's completely full of water. Yuck. Okay, mosquito breeding ground. Let's go look in this thing. I'm gonna be nosy today. I'm getting more confidence here in Panama. Oh, not so confident about that electrical wire though. Let's stay on the other side of this. Ugh. A good prison for something or someone. And then yeah. Interesting. I'd love to get in there. Okay, well, enough stalling, Mary. It's time to start the ascent. That never ends. It's a long one. I'll be out of breath by the time I get to the top, I promise you that. This is a pretty interesting sign here. It's talking about how a Dr. Alan Smith was the first one to pioneer the use of cranes, like construction cranes, to get up into the jungle canopy and study the biodiversity there and the interactions between the forest and the atmosphere. Super, super interesting. So I guess they have one of those cranes here. I don't know if it's back behind all of this that's closed off for right now. I'm guessing it probably is. That would be something pretty interesting to do, I think, to go up in a crane and see that. Now, I am scared of heights, but if biodiversity was involved, I think maybe I could muster the courage. So a little ways up, whoa. Oh my God. Okay, so a little ways up, you get to this pavilion, and it's a great place to rest, because I'm telling you, you're a sweaty mess by the time you've come up just even this little bit of hill. But what this is allowing you to do is kind of get up in the canopy here, because we've climbed that high up. And now, instead of looking at the sides of the jungle, you can look down into it. It's a lovely spot. This apparently is a Corotoo tree with some beautiful vines. So, we've come up all of that. We've sweated out any liquid we ever had in our body. And we've reached this little area here where you can see the sign, and there's a trail that goes down. That is the trail that's going to take us back to the parking lot. But that's not the trail we're interested in right now, because we're going to come back to that one. We still have to climb all of this to get to where we're going. So that last hill up from where the trail branches off is a butt kicker, but it's really short. So you just really have to just go up that hill around the bend, and then that will put you to here. So you can see we have a trail that goes off to the right, or we can continue on the road. We're going to continue on the road, and that is going to put us up at the top. This nice little flat area. And this is where we're going to get some spectacular views. So I'm going to walk over and show you. All right, here is our first view. And I'm going to try to point out the different things, but it's really hard to see in my screen. So if you look at this building here and this building here, that is the United States Embassy there. The people who will A, not return an email, and B, have no appointments until, like, I don't know, 2025, and I can't get my driver's license. Totally different video. Not better. Okay. And then if you look beyond that, like in this area here, those buildings, from what I can read on the sign, that's the Miraflores area of the canal. So that's where the locks are that the boats come through on the canal. Then if we look, oh boy, I really can't see it in here, but let me try to zoom in. I'm going to have a really hard time seeing it on my, oh, there it is. Okay, you see this right back there, that kind of triangle of white lines? That is a bridge that's on the toll road that goes over, I don't think it's a part of the canal, but goes over something. It's a pretty cool bridge. It's on the toll road. And then if you look at the mountains, like right here, that's Parque Camino de Cruces, which is a national park. And if you go further back to these back here, that's Parque Soberania, something, I don't know. Anyway, so that area back there is where I did my first hike, which is in Gamboa, and will be coming up on another video, an amazing place back there. So this entire area through here, these three parks, Soberania, Camino de Cruces, and Parque Natural Metropolitano, provide like this wildlife corridor. And it allows, oops, sorry about that, and it allows the animals to go back and forth in this area. So that's not the only view though. If we continue around, okay, so here we can see a fabulous view of Panama City. And I always say that people who haven't been here don't understand that Panama City is a straight up city. It's not some dinky little developing country kind of, I don't know, whatever. I mean, it is like a real city. It is a center of business and finance. And I mean, it rivals, it's better than the skyline of Los Angeles, I'll tell you that. We come over here, we can see some more of it. I'll zoom in for you. But it's just amazing to be up here in the jungles up above the city. I mean, you always know you're in the city. You always hear the traffic. A little duller in some areas, a little more in others. But it is such a nice getaway and so quick to the city if you're staying here. There's absolutely no reason for you not to come up here and experience this place. Except for this. Because after all those hills that we've climbed, we have one set of stairs and then we're done with hills. So let's see what's up at the top of this one. Wow. Just wow. And you're going to see what I was talking about with the city earlier. You get such a better view here. Just look at that city. It's so beautiful from up here. Like most cities, in my opinion, they're beautiful from far away, not so much when you're down in the middle of them. But check that out. Gorgeous. All right, so now you can see why you need that wildlife corridor through there. Animals are not getting across that mess. All right, so now we're gonna head back down the trail. Remember how when we were coming up the road, there was that little piece that went to the right, and I said just keep going up the road to get to the view? Well, this here is the downhill portion to get back to that road. So that's where we're gonna come out at. Just a little bit of information about the park. This is called Cerro Cedro, and let's see. Oh, from here you can see the ocean. Hold on. It would be remiss to not show you that. But do you see the ocean back there? Right through there. I mean, really, what a stunning location. So a little bit of information about the park itself. It covers 232 hectares. And at the elevation that we were at right there, we were at about 140 meters above sea level. So we did quite a climb to get up here. But from here, it's all downhill, baby, the whole way. And it's going to be downhill through my favorite part of all of the trails in Parque Natural Metropolitano. It's where I saw most of the wildlife that I saw last time. I'm already getting zoomed by birds. So we're going to head back down to that little trail, take it back to the parking lot, and maybe we'll see some wildlife along the way. And here we are. What a super quick, easy downhill back to this trail that we're going to be going down. And like I said, I think of all the trails in the park, this one is the most secluded. I saw the most wildlife on this trail last time. On this trail, once you get back into it, you really don't realize you're anywhere near a city. So I super love this trail. It's gorgeous. Listen to those birds. Love it. Here we go. I was walking down the trail, and all of a sudden all of these limbs here came crashing down like about 30 feet in front of me. I was like, uh-oh, I gotta look out. It could be monkeys, because I've dealt with that in Malaysia before. I started looking around. I was like, aha, I see them. They are monkeys. But aha, they were not. They are coatis. Oh my God, and there's a bird up there that is freaking amazing. Holy, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? What in the world? It's not easy. I mean, literally. Oh wait, maybe that's better. Hold on. And that's it. We've reached the end. What a beautiful walk. Wow. I needed that. Now this is the trail that is cut off due to COVID. So had we been able to hike this portion from the other trail from the visitor center, this is where we would have been spit out right here at the little park ranger station. So that's it for Parque Natural Metropolitano. I hope you had a great time following me along on this hike, and what I really hope is that it has given you the encouragement to come over here and do it on your own, because you'll really enjoy it. It's an awesome hike. So I'll see you on the trails.